Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to plant grass and to make sure it grows and grows in really thick. So to start, we're basically giving our front yard a little bit of a makeover. We're redoing the front gardens and making that look a lot better, but we're also working on the front yard and leveling this out. We had some drainage issues. It was building up in the yard because there's some high spots and low spots. So I'm leveling it out currently. And after leveling this all out, it will basically be exposed dirt through our whole yard, which that's actually perfect for planting grass seed. If you're going to plant on existing weeds and grass, you may want to get sort of a rototiller or rake to loosen up the yard before planting seeds. That way the weeds don't choke out the new grass that's trying to grow. So I'm going to go through this and make sure all of this is raked out. I'm taking out any bricks or rocks that I'm finding in the yard, as well as all of the weeds and grass that I just torn up. I'm going to rake that out of the dirt too, so that it's just topsoil ready to plant with the grass seed. It is ideal to have the soil or dirt you're planting in to be soft or raked, maybe with a rototiller loosened up already. If it's hard, compact clay or dirt, the seeds may sprout, but they're going to burn out really quickly because they don't have enough root base to grow in a nice soft dirt. So now this section is leveled out. I still have a little bit more I need to level out with my tractor, and then I'll come back through and rake the rest of that up. Alright, real quick as I'm raking out the yard, getting it ready for the seed. If you guys want to help the channel grow and help this video out, one of the best ways to do that is hitting the thumbs up on this video, giving it a like, helps the video get a lot more views. Also, another easy free way to support the channel is hitting that subscribe button and subscribing to the channel. Thanks guys so much for watching. I'll get back to the video. Alright, so the yard is basically leveled out now. All of it has been raked. It's all loose, ready to accept some seed. And now we're going to move on to spreading the actual grass seed. Now, as far as the grass seed goes, when you go to the store, they have tons of different styles of grass seed, different types and breeds. It really depends on where you live and what style of grass you want. So I would do some research, make sure the type of grass you're getting is actually good for your climate. If you're in really hot climates, you want to make sure that it doesn't burn out in the summer and end up dying. And if you're in colder climates, you want to make sure that this grass is going to live through the winter and come back in the spring. So I can't tell you what would work best where you're at, so try to do some research, Google it, and figure out what works good for your zone and your climate. Now, when you're spreading grass seed, there's a few ways you can do it. Either by hand, like I'm doing right here, you can just toss it up in the air. It'll naturally spread out and just want to cover every inch of the soil that's exposed. Or you can push a spreader around like I'm doing right now. That covers the whole area pretty well. Now, I would not recommend skimping on this. It's better to put a little bit more grass seed on this and buy another bag if you need to, then go too little and have your grass grow in really thin and not well at all. So I'm going to be putting on enough to where you can see every inch of the soil has grass seed on it. It's not completely covered. You still can see dirt, obviously, but you're going to want to have a lot of seed on that. Now, the next step is really important for growing grass, and that is putting a barrier on top to protect them. I'm going to be using wheat straw for this. It works really well. You just spread out a very thin layer over top of the yard. Everything that has seed on it, you're going to want a thin layer of straw. Now, this does a couple things. It really protects the seeds. It helps them stay moist. It doesn't dry out quite as fast. It also protects the seeds from birds finding them and eating it. And it also keeps those seeds, if it does rain, it keeps the dirt from washing out really bad and all the seeds being washed into the same place. So this step is really important, and it also does make the yard look a lot better than just exposed dirt. Now, one thing to remember when you're spreading out the straws, you want to make sure everything is loosened up and spread out evenly over the yard. You don't want any clumps of straw together still, because this will not allow the grass to grow up in those areas, and it will just kill everything underneath it if you put it on too thick. Alright, so we've done all the leveling in the yard, raking, putting the seed down, and straw on top to protect it. Now all we need to do is water this regularly each day, at least once a day, if not twice, once in the morning, once in the evening, and then just waiting. This is going to take several weeks for the grass to actually grow up and start to thicken. And so I'm going to come out here at least once a day and water the yard completely, make sure every inch of the seeds have been soaked by the sprinkler, and that will give it all it needs to start growing. Now, over the next couple weeks, you are going to want to rope off the area, put a mental note there if you have dogs or kids. You want to make sure you keep them out of this area. As grass is growing, it's really fragile. The small sprouts can easily die, and if you drive or walk over top of the soil, it's going to make the soil really hard for the roots to actually grow in that area. So here is 1 week later. You can see there's hardly any sprouts at all. Not much has changed. A little bit of the weeds have come up through the dirt we have scraped off. And now 2 weeks later, you can see just very fine grass. And at this point, if you walk on this grass for very much, it's going to die. Now 3 weeks later, it's really started to thicken a lot. And it's still a little fragile, but you can maybe walk on this if you need to walk across the yard. But do not walk across this regularly, or else areas will die. Now I noticed one section of the yard is a lot thinner than the rest, and this is where a tree used to be. I think the soil is too acidic there. I need to add some lime to the soil and then a little bit more seed. But I'll keep watering this and letting the grass grow. And 4 weeks later, this is super thick. I'm actually going to mow this for the second time. I'm not going to drive my riding mower over top of this yet. I don't want to pack in the dirt or kill any of the grass at this point. So it is a good idea, if you have a push mower, use that instead for a couple weeks as you're mowing this, just to make sure that the grass has had a chance to grow some roots, and that way it's not as fragile and easy to kill by running over with the mower. Now at this point, most of the yard is grass. There still are a few weeds spread out through the yard and a lot of clover mixed in. So if you want to make sure that this is just grass, this is a great time to now start a weed and feed. This will fertilize your grass, but also kill any weeds that are in your yard. that would be great to do that. And then any patches that are still a little bare, you can come back with a rake, just loosen up the soil a little bit and plant some more seed, and make sure you water the yard still every day or so, and that will fix any patches that are missing and make the yard look really nice. Now from here, the yard is only going to get better as you water this. The grass is going to keep getting thicker and spreading, and all of those patches are going to fill in, and the one section that's a little thinner has already, since I've taken this video, filled in a lot. Now don't forget, always add a little bit more seed. Make sure there's plenty of seed down, that way you'll get a nice thick result. Don't forget the straw that protects all the seed you put down. Don't forget to water at least once a day, if not twice a day, and definitely do not walk or drive anything on the fresh grass that you planted. I see this all the time. People plant grass, they'll water it, and they'll wonder why it never comes up. They're driving vehicles across it, walking on it, playing on it with their kids, and it just kills all the fresh grass you just planted. So if you follow those steps, it'll be very easy to get some grass growing. Just wait a few weeks and you'll see the results. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video or found it helpful. It helps out the channel so much and the video if you guys hit the like button down below and if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.